Characteristics of living organisms. Characteristics of life. It's important to have a definition for what is life and what is not. These are the characteristics of living organisms: organization, order, adaptations, response to the environment, movement and sensitivity, regulation and excretion, energy processing, feeding and respiration, growth and development, and reproduction. Order. All life is organized into fundamental units called cells. A cell is a membrane-bound structure containing organic molecules. They are microscopic in size. Cells are the smallest unit that can be considered a life form. Therefore, they are referred to as the building blocks of life. Adaptation. Populations of organisms that are alive today have adapted to changing environments. Adaptation is a characteristic of life. It is not an individual organism that adapts. It is the passing of naturally selected traits to offspring that drives this change. Response to the environment. Living organisms must be able to recognize their surroundings and respond to them. For instance, moving away from something hot, or moving towards something that is nutritious. Organisms move to and from sensitivities in their environment. Regulation and excretion. Living organisms must be able to regulate their internal conditions. This is called maintaining homeostasis. They must be able to keep their internal systems separate and different from the external environment. One way organisms regulate their environments is excretion. Excretion is the removal of waste products of metabolism. Example, urea and carbon dioxide from the body. These waste products can become toxic to the cell if allowed to accumulate. Homeostasis in humans. Humans must maintain certain constant conditions inside their bodies even when things change in their environment. For example, body temperature has to stay around 37 degrees Celsius, blood pH around 7.4, blood pressure about 100 millimeters of mercury, blood sugar 0.1%, and water content 40 liters. Shown here is a negative feedback loop for maintaining constant body temperature. Energy processing. All living things require energy to carry out the functions of life. They must be able to obtain energy and process it to be used in their biological functions. Animals process food, also known as chemical energy, through respiration and convert it into matter and work, which is mechanical energy. Some bacteria and all plants can convert light energy into chemical energy through photosynthesis. Growth and development. Organisms are born from parents, forming a new generation and eventually developing into a mature form. At maturity, organisms are capable of producing their own offspring. A life cycle is a series of stages through which an organism passes. Multicellular organisms are also capable of producing more cells throughout their lifetimes. This leads to the growth of the organism. Reproduction. Living things must be able to pass on their traits to future generations of organisms. This creation of offspring can be asexual, single organisms reproducing on their own, or sexual, requiring the mixing of genetic material.